Now, we travel back to a time when the country was at war, and the railways were a key mode of transport for both civilians and military personnel alike. And at the War on the Line event hosted by the Mid Hants Railway, visitors were able to get a sense of what life was like travelling on the steam engines of a wartime railway. With re-enactors, demonstrations and live music, the War on the Line event on the Watercress Line in Hampshire was a step back into the 1940s. Experiencing a slice of life on the railways, each station exhibited a different theme, including a Glenn Miller tribute band, vintage clothing stalls and even American GIs.
It's one of our busiest days we have on the railway, which is War on the Line, where we celebrate and respect and remember the guys that served in the 1939-1945 conflict. We get a lot of people turn up as re-enactors, dressing up for the day, and our job today is to run an efficient on-time service, which probably didn't happen very much during war days. The service runs between the two towns of the railway, between Alsford and Alton. It stops at the intermediate station, Brockley, which is here, and Medicine and 4 Marks, and then goes on towards Alton, and the trains travel between them stations in and out the day.
These places attract 1940s reenactors, and they're like a magnet because it is in the past. You can remember on trains, etc., World War II, you know, the guy leaning out of the window, kissing his lady friend goodbye, the tearful handkerchief waving, all the rest of it. That's what it's about. That's how it started, this 1940s reenacting, and of course railways play a large part in it. I was about to retire from the TA. I'd done 15 years parachute regiment. Time was up. I was about to retire from work, looking for an adventure, and one of my colleagues said, give this a go, it's not bad, you know, and you're ex-military, you should do well in that. So I had a look round and joined my local Home Guard unit. Now I portray who I am today, General or Field Marshal Alexander, depending on the uniform. Because of my RAF background, I did Bomber Harris. I've just done a long week up at the Great Central Railway, which is another success story. But up there I was doing speeches.
All the staff working today are volunteers, give up their own time to come down and do this railway. It's only not the fact they're forced to do it, they actually love it, and they love the idea of working on railways. I think one thing to understand is that the guys here are interested in operating the railway, not necessarily train spotters. It's a challenge of running a railway that the guys really enjoy.
For many, the weekend was a bit of fun and a chance to dress up and ride on the steam train, but for others it brought back memories.
In those days, children weren't told as much as they are now. We just thought we were going on a holiday. And I remember thinking, why are some of these people crying? But of course we had these, the badges with our names on. We had the packed lunch, which is a packet of sandwiches. And then we got on this train. And it just seemed as if we were on the train forever. And then I stayed there for 3 years, being evacuated. And I must be honest, it was one of the best 3 years of my life. It was very, very nice. The people we were with were extremely good, because there were a lot of unhappy people, but we were very lucky. So all this sort of thing brings it all back to you, what you went through and what you didn't.
I think it's good to remember, because my own father served in the Second World War. He's no longer with us, but I think it's good to reflect and remember on it, and remember the fact is that we may not have lived in the freedom we got nowadays that if it hadn't been for that particular conflict. And I think in some ways it's right we do remember, but we shouldn't make it a morbid remembrance as such. It should be a reflection and thanks, and we actually celebrate that we are able to live like we do.
And I think it's very nice too to see younger people here taking note of what happened. Because very soon anybody that was there won't be here anymore. We'll all be gone, you know. And I don't think it's a bad thing to remember the past, what happened, you know. Pray God it never happens again.
This is Richard Stringer for That's TV.